Hey everybody, welcome back. So now we are going to go on our adventure, which is not magical. Because apparently that really upset Icon last time I said it.
It was more the mushrooms than the magic.
I didn't think about that. Oh no, we're running low on potatoes!
What? Quickly, go back to Idaho. So my mom is actually from Idaho. And you know Five Guys Burgers and Fries?
Yes.
Okay, so they actually say where their potatoes are from on any given week. Or a given day. So my mom went there, and they were from Rexburg, Idaho, apparently, which was her hometown. But they misspelled Rexburg.
Oh.
And so she points this out to them, and they're like, yeah, okay. Didn't do anything about it. So she goes in there again, like the next week, still from Rexburg, Idaho. And she corrects the error again, and they're like, okay. And then she comes back in a third week later, and she gets to the cashier, and the cashier goes, hey, you know what? You were actually right. It is spelled that other way. And my mom was like, you don't say.
Jeez.
But then apparently she was talking to her sister, my aunt, and I guess wherever they are, I think they're over in Mississippi or somewhere right now. They're on a sailboat somewhere. But anyway, they stopped in at Five Guys, and it was for the next town over, and so they thought that was pretty cool.
All right, the vast calorie. Oh wow, I butchered that in the first 5 minutes of this video. The first jungle.
The vast Coloragi jungle. Find ancient specimens like junk and training gadgets.
Wow. It's not even 10 o'clock yet. So you can actually see that the pin moves down. It's kind of interesting, actually. Anyways. Let's select everybody!
They ended that last phrase on a preposition.
Let's go!
Or they ended it with a prepositional phrase.
Alright, there are going to be no more bats, thank goodness, because no matter what I did, the bats would always drown out our voices in the cave, and it was so frustrating.
Wait, are you saying there's no bats in the jungle?
Well, there's just no bats in this jungle.
Okay.
And if there are bats, they're probably not going to be bugging us like the bats in the cave.
So
I do believe jungles have fruit bats and stuff.
So what are we looking out for here? Because before it was like the little tiny caves and the lake things and the high places. What do they look like?
Generally the same. It's been so long. I'm pretty sure it's all mostly the same. I know the sand pits look the same, and there's probably gonna be more of them. Come on now, loading screen. Oh, it's a Poncho D! KO! That was using circle too, dang.
A through C just kind of fell over.
Oh, well I guess that answers that question. I guess I could have Gary out. To remember all the controls. Let's see. Take a look around here. Oh, I was like, I have the music pretty low on my end, but, I think it's actually the same music. Let me turn it up. I think it's the same music that was in Monster Rancher 3.
Wait, you're turning the music up?
Oh, duh. I was just say, yes, it's like, the music, if it were to be on, I believe is the same music from Monster Rancher 3. I don't know, I think I was hearing the ambient music and thinking that my sound was too low, and I'm just totally crazy.
I was just humming on my side.
I'm just going to bed after this. Let's see here. Well, gee, I don't think I'm going to bother asking Icon where to go, so I'm just going to go that direction.
I think you should go left.
Okay. Oh, it's a zoom! See if we can take him out with Final Dance.
So why is he D?
No. He's D rank.
Oh, that makes sense.
Yeah, I mentioned that in the previous video as well. Ha!
So if they
That
miss the
wasn't enough.
counter, can they still block or dodge?
No. If they miss, then they take the hit. Ooh, exactly 44. Sweet. So that's one risk to countering, I think.
Okay.
That's why I was earlier in the last fight. I said, "Ooh, it's a good thing I didn't push it because I was wrong because I would have been hit." So, yeah. That's such a pretty jungle.
See, I thought it was a no-risk
I
thing.
have to
so I
wonder
was
why
like,
they would just... What?
Okay. Oh, no, I was going to say, I thought it was a no-risk thing. So I was like, why aren't they doing it all the time?
I was gonna say, you kind of wonder why someone would just throw junk in a forest or a jungle. You know, it's just gonna dump junk around.
It could be a jungle.
A junk. Oh man.
But
So yeah, back there where I just ran from was actually the stairs. But I don't want to go up just yet. Ooh, a sword. Alrighty, let's move on. I believe this is one of those dungeons that you're actually going to find a decent amount of training gadgets. I mean, you're going to find training gadgets in most of them. The cave, I don't think is going to give us any more. But I know the jungle gives a good deal, and I know later on there's another one that does. Oh, well, this is perfect. Yeah, scary, go in. Please find something. Moying? Nope.
oh,
Good try. Alright, back to the stairs.
you know, so I've been thinking.
Uh-oh.
Wait, I didn't even say what I've been thinking. It's already a no.
Go ahead.
So I've been thinking, and we play a lot of sequels. You know,
Yeah.
what series would you like to see us? No, not Suikoden. What series would you most like to see have a sequel?
Oh, besides Suikoden?
Yeah, besides Suikoden, because that's an obvious answer. Right? Everybody knows you want Suikoden
Ooh.
6.
Oh, jeez. That is a very good question. I know I would have loved to have a third Jade Cocoon. Because Jade Cocoon 1 was good. Jade Cocoon 2 was really good, in my opinion. Fish Arrow. That doesn't feel like an intelligence move, or sound like one either. I don't know why I said feel. Let's see real quick. Wow, life damage B. It's only accuracy rate E though, so I'm just gonna put it in the middle.
Has a good crit hit rate though.
Yeah. Jeez. So are we assuming that the series has no sequel at all, or it's
no,
just they're not making it anymore?
They're just not making it, or it has one. Your call. I mean, either way.
Well, I almost want to say another Arts and Elco movie, but it would a game because it wouldn't make any sense because the way the third game ended. Oh, it's a Pono here. Looks kind of naked. It wouldn't make any sense, and they clearly stated at the beginning of the first game, or in the first game, that there were only 3 towers, so having a 4th game wouldn't make any sense, so... but that would be really cool to see one. I don't know if I'd want any more Monster Rancher games, because I was just having this discussion with Helper that I feel like video games, the video games I enjoy, don't really exist anymore. Like, I was actually just corrected recently that what I consider an RPG is now classified as a JRPG. I did not know that there was a difference.
Yeah, well, I mean, RPG. I mean, you got like kind of the Western style RPGs, which is like your kind of more Fallout type stuff, or
Yeah. See, I never considered that an RPG at all.
or Fable. That's kind of. I mean, some of those are kind of action RPGs.
See, I could see Fable. I could consider Fable an RPG, but I never thought. I never even once considered that the RPGs I enjoy, you know, like Suikoden and Arts and Elco and the Monokemia series. Did I say Monokemia? Anyways,
Yeah, you said
I never thought that they were a different category than Western RPGs, but now that I think about it, I guess that would make sense.
Well, it's just a way of kind of breaking them down further. It's like you kind of have RPGs, and then within that you have JRPGs that are kind of that Final Fantasy style, or something else that's very kind of stats heavy, and a lot of times kind of has an active turn battle system or turn-based.
Well, I
battle
was
system.
thinking more story, because, you know,
Yeah.
growing up, we grew up in an era of video games where it was the battle of the best storyline. Is how I kind of saw the RPGs, because these days it's not like that. It's the best. I feel like it's the battle of the better fighting system. You know, because I feel like the stories go downhill and they only care about the fighting systems, and they didn't focus that much on them. Like with Suikoden, except for Suikoden 3. I mean, the fighting system wasn't all that grandiose, but that wasn't what the game was about.
Yeah,
The Monokemia series have an interesting battle system, but again, that's not quite what the game is about, so...
yeah, I think it varies. I mean, for me...
Ooh, it's a Ripper!
Nice.
It's my favorite one. Well, it's my second favorite one.
Yeah, the big difference for me between like Western and JRPGs is like Western ones are usually more open world, whereas the JRPGs tend to be much more linear. Here's the path.
Well, they're more linear because it's an actual story, like reading a novel. You know, I feel like maybe the Westerns are more like choose your own adventure and.
Well, exactly. It's like it's a question of what role do you play actually in the world? Because with like a JRPG, the role you play has been preset. It's you are playing an existing role. Whereas in like the Western style ones, you get to define the role, and that comes with advantages in that you get to feel like you're more a part of the story, but also disadvantages in that it's not necessarily as polished, just not necessarily, but as polished a story or as coherent as paths.
Yeah.
I mean, each one has its appeal. Like I enjoy both. It's just like sometimes I want one, sometimes I want the other.
Yeah, I don't know. For the most part, I prefer JRPGs, but the only one I can think of that stands out in my mind are the Elder Scrolls games. Not Elder Scrolls Online, obviously, but like Morrowind and well, I didn't actually play Oblivion, but Morrowind and Skyrim stand out in my mind as being great games. But at the same time, I didn't actually kind of consider them RPGs, even though I think they are.
They are. Yeah, they're like.
I don't know. Yeah. Oh, dang it! You caught me on that. But going back to my comment, I'd be afraid if they made another Monster Rancher, because I'd feel like, stop hitting me, you big dork! I'm sitting here spamming the circle button and I can't hit him. I feel like they'd almost butcher this. It's kind of like when they did EVO. I appreciate what they did, and it's a great game on its own, but I feel like if they did one today, it would almost, I feel like it would lose the spirit. I'd be surprised. Ooh.
Nice.
Who just got Dirt Search?
I think it was Gary.
No, it had to have been Puddin'. Dirt Search. Now we're out, so if we get any more, we're gonna have to replace them, but that's okay. So we got Dirt. Yes, we got Dirt Search.
I was like, how did Gary get it? I was like, that doesn't make any sense.
I had switched out. But anyway, I guess I would like to see one if it kept the spirit of the Monster Rancher games. Like, if they almost redid 4, but with a different storyline and new monsters, I'd probably be okay with that, but I don't know, with the way games are going these days, it's like, I don't know. Any other games? Obviously Pokemon has a million sequels, it doesn't need to have any more. I don't know. I would really like to see another Mana game from the original Mana... I keep saying Monokemia, but I think it's actually... I keep meaning to say Atelier Iris. Monokemia was good too, but Atelier Iris series from way back at the beginning of PlayStation 2 in America, those were wonderful games. And I really miss the spirit of those games as well, because I think, unfortunately, as wonderful as those games were, I think that they fell to more complicated battle systems and stuff like that. Because that's one appeal I had with the game, was it was a good battle system, but it was turn-based, so you could sit there and think about your next move, you know? And a lot of games these days, they're like, no, I need to hit the button as fast as possible! Which, you know, is good sometimes, but I'm not a fan of that.
Too, I think.
Yeah, there are some games where I like that, like, brain just died. Oh my gosh. I can't believe I just forgot the name of that game.
What does it look like?
Oh my gosh, we were just discussing it.
Arts
It only has 3. Yes, thank you. Arts Nelco. The Arts Nelco fighting system was probably one of my favorite fighting systems of any game I've ever played. But, you know, that's time. You know, I mean, you don't have time to stop and think about it. But at the same time, I think... Oh, Gary got High Search. I knew Gary would get High Search!
Nice.
Calbatane Windlore. Oh, Roll Press! That's a good one. Oops. That was probably... I honestly have to admit, if we're going to exclude Suikoden, because Suikoden's the best of everything, I have to say Monokemia. Why do I keep saying that? Arts Nelco 2 probably had the best fighting system of any game I've ever played. It was complex and hard, but it wasn't like you had to be a master of the game and spend forever practicing it and saying I'm really great at this game because blah blah blah. You know, it wasn't like that. You know, and it was I don't know. I can't explain it. For anyone who's played the game, you probably know what I'm talking about. Oh, okay. Roll press, life damage S. Wow. But it's only accuracy rate D. I'm probably gonna put that at the bottom because I think it's a good one, but not something I want to end or start with. I mean, I could try starting with it, but it'd be kind of funny. I don't think anyone else learned anything new. I think it's just as far as moves go. But anyway, what's your opinion on that subject? And I'm not going left.
Well, I mean, the nice thing for me is that a lot of my favorite games actually have gotten sequels that I'm satisfied with. And probably don't need too many more. I mean, I'm actually looking at my favorite games list right now. It's like Master of Orion 2, it had a sequel. The sequel was really, really bad.
Yeah.
And honestly, I'm okay. I don't really care if that one ever gets a sequel or not. Like, if there's a 4...
Ooh, we got a strength stone. Woo!
If there's a Master of Orion 4, I doubt I would actually buy it, honestly. I think I'm fine with 2 just as 2.
Yeah, 2 was great. It's kind of like I still play the old original Colonization because the remake was so terrible. It never makes me want to look at it again.
Yeah, and it just kind of, at this point, it's kind of nostalgia. It has a special place for me, and it's going to probably always be my favorite game. So, but it's like, I'm looking at the list, I got like a couple of Zelda games on my top list. It's like, well, Zelda's obviously still getting sequels, and some of them are good, and some of them are okay. Shadow of the Colossus. I mean, that one has a sequel that's in development right now. And it was announced back in 2009. I'm waiting for them to come out with it for PS3, which now that PS4's been out for almost a year, it's looking less and less likely.
Grim. Yeah.
So we'll see what happens with Guardian, which is that sequel. I really wanted to. If that game came out, I would buy a PS4. If it came out for PS4, I would buy a PS4 for that game. That is one. That's probably the only game I would say that for.
It's about Xbox One just plays Zoo Tycoon.
Yeah.
People look at me totally bonkers. Like, that's the one game out of everything on the Xbox One you bought it for? I'm like, yeah.
Yeah, I would give you
It was
a
a
look
good
if
game.
I was there.
It was a really good game, though.
Otherwise, I don't know. I mean, like, let's see, your Final Fantasy Tactics had a complete story. I don't know that it really needs a sequel. I know they've, like, talked about working on one and talked about having one, but I'm kind of content without them having one. Okami is in my top 5 favorite games. It's my number 5. I love Okami to death. But I know they had one on the DS. I actually own it. I haven't played it yet because I'm kind of like... I heard it was okay, but it's kind of one of those things where it's like the first game was so unique and so perfect by itself that you almost don't want to spoil it by doing anything more with it, you know?
It's kind of like I played the sequel to Azure Dreams on the Game Boy. It was probably one of the worst games I ever played.
Yeah, and it just kind of tarnishes the memory of the original.
Yeah. Look, we have dirt for Puddin to go through.
Dang it, I almost had a chance there.
Am I pushing the wrong buttons again? I am. Yes, I can push buttons.
Yeah, going down my list, it's like the only one that really strikes me immediately is Shadow of the Colossus or Ico. That series.
Oh, we got a beast stone!
Nice.
So we can take it to the shrine. We can take it to the shrine and get a chance at a new monster. This is their way of being like, well, if you don't own enough CDs or something, we're gonna help you out. And I honestly think that's a great idea. They've kind of always had that, but honestly, Monster Rancher 5 did it the best. Which I think I did show off, but when we get back to it, I'll show it off again. Who do I want in front? I guess I can just keep Gary in front for now. Yeah, I really don't know. I mean, there's so many great games that I don't even want sequels for. Like, Soul Nomad does not need a sequel. As much as I love the game, it does not need one. Mario RPG, Super Mario RPG was so great that I'm afraid, even though the technical sequels are the Mario and Luigi games, they are great. An actual sequel to Super Mario RPG, I'm not sure about. There was a sequel to Earthbound, but it was not released in the States, and from what I understand, it's quite depressing. So I know there are LPs out there that are translated, but I just have not wanted to watch any of them.
Yeah, I have a friend who was obsessed with the Mother series. The Mother.
Yes, I'm fine with Earthbound, the one that came out in the States, and I'm just gonna end it. I know there's I like Tecmo Deception, but I know there's sequels to it that have nothing to do with the actual Tecmo Deception. I think I think it's the same kind of idea, but they call them sequels, but that one doesn't need one. Well, Maniac Mansion did have a sequel. It wasn't anything like the original, but I don't know. I mean, obviously I want Suikoden 6. That's no secret. But you know, I would love another Arts Nelco game as long as it wasn't anywhere near 3, because 3 was terrible. If they remade an if they made an Atelier Iris game in the same spirit as the originals, I think that'd be awesome. But I totally know they won't, because for some reason people won't play games if it doesn't have 3D graphics.
Yeah, well, and that's kind of where I'm at with like Chrono Trigger, for instance. Like, I love Chrono Trigger, and it seems like the sort of game that could totally use a sequel. Like, that actually would be a game I would love to see a sequel for. And there is a sequel. It's Chrono Cross.
Yeah.
Which, you know, there's mixed feelings on Chrono Cross, but regardless of its merits, good or bad, I think it's fair to say that it doesn't capture the same spirit as Chrono Trigger.
Oh, we have a plant pixie.
And so it's kind of one of those things where it's like, okay, you know, like, I can love Chrono Cross for its own merits, but it still isn't really like Chrono Trigger, you know? And I'm like, what I want is something that feels like Chrono Trigger and feels like a true successor to it. And Chrono Cross is a fine game. I got pretty far. I got like 30 hours into it and then lost my save game.
Ooh, we got toy glasses.
But that's one of the games I think, like, there was rumors about Chrono Break coming out for years. And there's another rumors about Radical Dreamers, which eventually got turned into Chrono Cross, I know. So I would love to see a sequel to that one. The other one was Total Annihilation.
Yeah, real quick. On these types of screens, you got to make sure you check the actual end here, because I'm pretty sure that's where the treasure hides. Anyways, go ahead.
So the other one for me would have been Total Annihilation, and that actually has gotten several sequels over the years, spiritual successors over the years. The Supreme Commander series was kind of a successor to that by the same lead designer, Chris Taylor. And then more recently, Planetary Annihilation is actually officially launching like next week. And I've been really looking forward to playing it. I was way in on the Kickstarter pre-order backer thing, and I actually have a planet named after me in the game. So, but I have the game on Steam. I have it downloaded and installed, but I have not played it yet because I want my first experience with that game to be as perfect as possible. And so I wanted to wait until the game was complete before I started playing it again, or playing it at all. And I heard that for the final release, actually, they're adding lasers that can blow up planets. Like, in addition to all the other ways to blow up planets that they already have, like putting rockets onto asteroids and ramming them into planets.
I'm not sure how a laser can do that, but okay.
Oh, you clearly have not seen a big enough laser.
Obviously, because I'm pretty sure the Mythbusters tried even popping corn with a laser and it didn't quite work out.
No, if you go to the XKCD What If series of stuff on his blog, he covers how much laser power you need to destroy various things.
You know what I want to have a sequel? Now that I think about it, we need more Slayers.
Yes. Well, but we got more Slayers, though.
Well, we need more! I can never have enough! It's like Ranma went on for like 1,000,000 seasons. Why can't Slayers just keep going?
Yeah, but I mean, we had Slayers Evolution and Revolution. Or Evolution
they weren't
R
bad. I mean...
No, they weren't bad.
They were good. Oh, that looks like the end of a dungeon. My only beef with them was, I don't know why Zelos had to look like some kind of fairy when he popped in and out, and was it season 4? What was that? Evolution?
I can't remember which one was which.
It's season 4, whichever. And then they fixed it in season 5, so he doesn't look like that. I'm like, oh, thank goodness. He actually, like... It doesn't look stupid. That was my only beef with it. Of course, I don't like the fact that it's not hand-drawn, but of course, I can't possibly assume anyone's going to hand-draw anything anymore, so I can't really be upset about that.
I do miss that. It's like everything kind of... I mean, I don't mind that it looks clean now, like so clean now, compared to how it used to look. But I do miss kind of some of the fluidity that you used to get. Like
I miss the... It almost felt like whoever the artist was for the day kind of would draw them to how they felt they should be, you know? I don't know if that makes sense, you know? So, some episodes, you know, I keep talking about Zelos because that's the only character I really care about.
Gallery? Lena? Naga?
I don't know, you know, there's some episodes he's not drawn so well, and some episodes he's drawn, like, exactly how I would, you know, picture him to be drawn and the way he moves. And with the computer style, it's always exactly the same. Well, I take that back, it's not always, but it's pretty much the same, and it kind of, I don't know. Maybe it's just because I grew up in the 90s and I'm used to everything being hand-drawn. I just, you know, and my sister was my sister always wanted to be an artist for Disney growing up. She wanted to actually hand draw all that stuff. So I don't know. I kind of felt like something was lost in all that. But at the same time, I'm pushing the wrong buttons. You know, it's easier for them to do, and it looks cleaner. But I don't know. I'm not going down that path.
Well, I was gonna say like Princess Mononoke or Mononoke Hime. That one was
He never finds anything.
that was hand drawn, but then they overlaid some computer graphics on top of it, and that was amazing. I thought because like you go back and watch like the opening sequence of that movie, and they have a sequence or a scene where Ashitaka, the protagonist, is climbing up a watchtower. Because like a big demon that was coming out of the woods, and it's like right in the first 5 minutes, and just the scene of him climbing up the tower, like his arms and legs just move so fluidly, and it's just beautiful. Like the whole, it's an art. You just look at it and you're like, wow, that's incredible, and it still sticks with me to this day. Which incidentally, I found out yesterday it's coming out on Blu-ray finally, and so I'm like, I have to buy that for myself.
What was I going to say? It's kind of like. For Disney, when Tangled came out, everyone was talking about the CG for Tangled. Well, I think the way they did it was they actually did hand draw and overlay it with CG. I think it's kind of. I know it was a mix of hand draw and CG, and I almost feel like that's what made it so beautiful. And of course, they redid the exact same thing for Frozen, which is why it looks so similar. But whatever they did for that, I feel like that should be what the art for CG looks like, not this. It's obvious CG, because Tangled was beautiful. I mean, obviously it was CG, but I mean, it didn't stick out nearly as bad.
Well,
okay.
Go ahead.
He can't obtain any more traits, so we do not want to abandon High Counter. Excuse me, I'm starting to lose my voice.
Oh no.
Yeah, I've been in so many meetings. I don't think we need Hyper Beam in all honesty.
We're not really using it now.
Yeah, let's get rid of Hyper Beam. Yes. Alright. And he mastered Beam! Yes! That was pretty awesome right there. So, oops. That's not what I meant. High counter. Increases the power of counterattacks. Yeah, that's what I thought it was. That's why I wanted it.
We probably should figure out which one to ditch next.
I think it depends on what we get, because if we get another thing that's like intelligence-based, then it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Alright, so we have Beam, and we don't care about it. I mean, it gives... I think it lowers guts pretty good. That's fine.
It lowers guts good. You heard
It lowers guts good.
You heard it here first, folks.
Oops, I need to switch to
But... No, going back to the computer-generated stuff, I mean, I think there's definitely a way to do it right. I think some of those companies are definitely doing it right, where they don't kind of take the human element out of the CG. You know, they kind of start animated using CG really well. But a lot of them, it just ends up feeling too sterile.
Yeah.
And so it's like, you kind of still have to keep that human aspect to it somehow. And I don't know, it's one of those things when you see it, it makes sense. But I don't know how I would define it technically.
This whole episode has just been full of nothing related to Monster Rancher.
This is
I should put that in the description.
This is a
I should put in the
nostalgia
description, nothing related to Monster Rancher is discussed.
We discuss games and computers and graphics, all of which have to do with Monster Rancher. Actually, so part of the reason why I asked the questions in the first place was because I was actually wondering, and I didn't mention this to you off screen, so ambush. Are we going to do another Q&A at some point?
If people would like us to do one, sure. I don't know what's left to QA, but...
Neither do I, but it's been a couple
Okay,
years.
first of all, QA is in question and answer, not quality assurance.
Yes, Q and A, not QA.
Okay, you said QA, and I was like, we're not testing anything. It threw me off for a split second, because I've been listening to that word all day. Alright. Yeah, so if you guys want another Q&A, just let us know, and then we can start planning for it. I mean, I'm over 1,000 subscribers now, so...
You're over 1,200.
It's literally 1,000 more since the last time we did one. But...
Is it really?
Yeah. I think we did, for the 200 video, we did the outtakes, not outtakes, but all the funny moments, like, there are boys with your arms!
I was rewatching a Suikoden video the other day when I was looking for something in one of them, and I just by chance stumbled across a scene where you were hopping into all the beds. And it was that awkward scene where it was like you were looking for Hicks's bed, and I was like, awkward.
All right, let's move on with story. Oh no, is it another guy? We didn't find any junk, did we?
Oh, and I stumbled onto the Sasarai showing up for the first time too. Sorry, just that loud. What's up, Rio?
This is the same as the stone in the cave, the Gaia stone. Oh, crumb cakes. How did it... You voiced it.
No, you did. It was Demented Yoda.
My old friend. Can you hear me? It's someone else, I think. What? This... Oh. The same voice that I heard back in the cave, which actually doesn't sound the same. Destroyed in battle, my soul fled into a stone. Even without corporeal form, I am here to help you. Just who are you? I offer you support and guidance to help you keep the world from once again falling to darkness. Close your eyes, gaze upon the fate that must be prevented. Oh no. I love that picture. For anyone that has a chance, you need to pause on that picture because it actually is pretty cool. Ah!
What is it, Rio?
Icon, this rock, it's... I mean, it's nothing. Sorry. Let's go, Icon. Oh no, we found no junk!
In the jungle?
In the jungle. Sorry.
No, you were not the only one thinking that.
Alright,
So
I am going to save because again my PlayStation was kind and we had not a single crash this entire recording session.
Which is pretty darn awesome.
Yeah. Oh, I was on 6. Alright, and we will see you guys next time when we probably talk to Rio, so bye for now.
Bye, guys!